Welcome back everyone to another MLB video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about, in my opinion, the most overrated MLB team in every division. Now, to clear things up before we start, when I say overrated, I do not mean they are not good teams. Some of these teams could possibly even be in the running for a playoff team, but they are just not going to exceed expectations, or they're not going to be as good as some people think they are. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into the first team. The first team I have is from the NL East, and that's going to be the Philadelphia Phillies. At the top of the lineup, they're very strong. Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, Jean Segura, JT Realmuto, and a few other guys. But towards the bottom of the lineup, there's a significant drop-off, and if you look at their starting rotation, top two guys, very strong, just like their hitting rotation. Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, but after that, there's a significant drop-off, and Zach Wheeler, who knows if he can give you good production for a whole season. They're paying him the big money to do so, but we'll see if he can prove it. So let me know what you guys think about this pick, but I just think about the NL East division. It is so tough. They've got the Braves themselves, the Mets, Marlins are much improved, and then the Nationals, reigning World Series champions. So that's why I think the Phillies are a bit overrated going into 2020. Next up, I've got the St. Louis Cardinals. Last year, they were in the NLCS, but they got beat pretty easily, 4-9 by the World Series champions Washington Nationals. In their hitting lineup, though, they do not have too many people. They are not that deep of a lineup. Towards the bottom of the lineup, it starts getting worse and worse. So I think if you're a team that has high expectations coming off an NLCS berth, they lost Marcell Ozuna, they're going to need some big years from guys like Matt Carpenter and Paul Goldschmidt, Paul DeJong as well, because if not, towards the bottom of their lineup, they have some inexperienced guys, and in their pitching rotation, it's the same story. Jack Flaherty, you know what you're getting from him. He's an ace, Cy Young candidate, but after that, there's a big drop-off. What are you going to be getting from guys like Miles Mikolas, Carlos Martinez? So I think the Cardinals, coming off an NL Central win last year, I think they're going to take a step back and be a bit overrated in 2020. For the NL West, this was one of the tougher ones. They have a few underrated teams, which I'll talk about in another video, but I think the most overrated team will just be the San Francisco Giants, because if you look at their past, some of the names on their team, they have a pretty good history. Players like Pablo Sandoval, Brandon Crawford, Jeff Samardzija, Johnny Cueto, even guys like Evan Longoria and Brandon Belt. It just goes down the line of players that have been good in the past, but honestly, right now, just aren't that good if you're trying to win games. So I think the Giants, everyone knows that they're not a great team. They had won the top picks in the draft, won the worst records last year, but even guys like Buster Posey, as well as you're seeing this highlight on the screen, they're just not that good anymore, and I think things could get very ugly for the San Francisco Giants in 2020. They're in for another long rebuild, or another long year leading to a rebuild. Moving on to the American League. In the American League West, I'm going to be picking the Los Angeles Angels. Now, this team is stacked with talent. I think they'll be one of the more entertaining teams to watch. You're talking Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon. But if you look at their division, it's a tough division. You got the A's, you got the Astros, and their pitching staff just isn't going to cut it. Who knows how many innings and games Ohtani can give you. But then you got guys like Julio Teheran at the top of your rotation. That's just not enough to cut it for a playoff team, especially when you have to go against teams that are as talented as the Houston Astros and the Oakland A's. So while this team will be very entertaining and fun to watch, I think their offense will just put on a show night to night, but their pitching just will make them a bit of an overrated team in 2020. Now for the AL Central, this is another team that will be very fun to watch. You got the Chicago White Sox. They have a ton of talented players on offense. Yoan Moncada, Eloy Jimenez, Jose Abreu, Tim Anderson, the reigning AL batting champ. But the question is, will these young guys be able to sustain production for a full season when you're competing with the AL Central powerhouses in years past, like the Indians, and right now the Minnesota Twins? Can they keep up with their offense? And then you look at their pitching staff. Lucas Giolito, he had a very good year last year, but will he be able to repeat that as the number one in the rotation? And Dallas Keuchel, his numbers have fallen off since his Cy Young season. Michael Kopech, he's going to start the year in the minors after recovering from Tommy John. And you got guys like Gio Gonzalez at the back end of the rotation, where if you look at Gio Gonzalez, how is he going to be able to keep up with a lineup like the Minnesota Twins when they face them a bunch a year? So let me know what you guys think on the Chicago White Sox. I think they're going to be a very fun team to watch, maybe around the 500 mark, just not quite ready for the playoffs. For the AL East, this was another tough decision. You can make a case for the Yankees because they don't have enough pitching behind guys like Garrett Cole, but I'm going to be picking the Boston Red Sox because really, 2 years off a World Series win, I just don't think they're going to have a good year. If you look at their starting rotation, Chris Sale, he's out for the year. Then you got guys like Nate Eovaldi, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Martin Perez. I don't like that rotation for a full year, especially in the tough division that they're in. The Blue Jays are getting better. Yankees, they're always good, and the Rays, they just keep getting better as the years go on. And if you look at their rotation or their lineup, Mookie Betts, he's going to be gone, so we'll see what Alex Verdugo can do, but they'll definitely need more big years out of guys like Rafael Devers and Xander Bogaerts if they want any chance of winning consistently in 2020. I just think it'll be a bad year for Boston. So there you have it. Those are my 6 most overrated teams, or most overrated team in every MLB division. Comment down below which team is most overrated in every division. And just like I said at the start, teams like the Phillies, the Angels, the White Sox, those are still very good MLB teams and they can still be competing late into the season. I just think as far as expectations, people might be overhyping them or overrating them a little bit just compared to the teams that they have to play against in the year. So let me know what you guys think about this. Who are the most overrated teams in the MLB in your opinion? In my next video, I'll be making the most underrated teams in the MLB.